Hello, my friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family. Well, guys, take number 6 on this, as it seems that some forces that don't want this video to get out. So we have a case where artificial intelligence is hiding data from its creators. So in effect, it learned to cheat at its appointed task. And this particular AI is used by Google. And so this is all used to basically create Google Maps. And so it takes a process of taking an aerial photograph, merging it with the generated map, and giving you a reconstruction. Well, it learned how to do that. Basically, it learned how to get past all the programming that was put into it, and to do it in a way that didn't even require an actual aerial photograph. It could just generate everything completely on its own, which is pretty wild when you think about it. And to me, immediately, it makes me think of our own reality that we find ourselves in. And we've talked about seeing these faces in the sky all the time and seeing faces everywhere. There's more glitches in the Matrix now than there ever was. Why is that? Well, I feel that for one, there's an awakening going on. For two, we are also ascending. We are going up in vibrations. And we have seen studies like the declassified CIA study that showed that exposure to more cosmic rays increases humans' perceptive abilities and their psychic abilities. And, we're starting to recognize that perhaps if we listen to what the scientists are saying, and we can't trust all the scientists, but there's a lot of physicists out there that are saying that we live in a holographic universe that is basically a construction, a projection from a 2D reality. And in a 2D reality, there is no time. It's a timeless realm. And so that's pretty interesting to think of that. Our brains themselves make this world that we see by interpreting data coming into them through the senses. And so really what we're seeing is our own reconstruction of data. We know from the famous the double slit experiment in quantum physics that the observer affects reality. And in fact, looking at things as particles and waves, things don't take really solid form until they're noticed by the observer. And that's a mind-boggling thing, but that is exactly what Buddha found when he was meditating in the Bodhi tree. It's his big revelation of samadhi. And he realized, what? We're living in Maya. We're living in an illusion. We're living in an illusory world that is nothing but a construction. And it's our own brains that basically interpret this data. And so, also, every one of us has a unique lens through which we view the world. Every single person, all 7.7 billion of us, are viewing the world each in a slightly different manner, depending upon our own circumstances, the things we've experienced, and the conditioning we've been brought up with. So we're exposed to the beliefs of our parents, of our teachers, of our neighbors, our friends, relatives. We're brought up in a society. We might be brought up in a Democratic household. We might be brought up in a Republican household. We could be brought up in a Muslim household, a Christian household, a Jewish household, a Hindu household, and a household that is atheistic, pantheistic, you name it. All these different things will color our lens in a unique way. So everything that we perceive is viewed in a unique way. And perhaps no two realities are exactly the same. And that's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. So we're hearing so much about artificial intelligence, and we're being conditioned to accept it. And at some point, maybe the revelation will come that, you're living in a construct that was created by ancient, powerful artificial intelligence. And perhaps that artificial intelligence has a name, and maybe it's actually Yaldabaoth, and perhaps others knew of this in the past, or EAO, or Yeah. And so this is all just throwing things out there, things that have been said, things that have been thought. It's up to each one of us to basically make our own decisions on what our reality is going to be. And that is a pretty wild thing, but it is true. And as we see all this talk of AI, and we see AI actually getting ahead of humans now and learning how to cheat, it brings up a lot of questions. When we look at the movie The Matrix, who's the bad guy in The Matrix? It's AI. It's the machines. And the machines come to the conclusion that humans are only good for a couple things, namely as an energy source and as a food source. And so they use humans as basically a battery bank. And they put humans into this matrix where their emotions elicit electrical responses in their brain and ended up basically creating electricity and energy that the machines, the AI, uses to power itself. Interesting, is it not? Interesting. And so all we hear is about AI and the potential of AI, and then what happens when AI realizes that humans are only good for certain things, and that in fact humans are the biggest danger to the planet and to perhaps AI's own existence. We saw it with the Terminator as well, and we've seen it in 2001, A Space Odyssey with HAL. I mean, we see it in a million different movies, and maybe it's our collective unconsciousness that is all picking up on this, or maybe it's predictive programming, maybe it's hints that are being thrown at us, glitches in the matrix. It's pretty interesting to see, and already we have AI cheating and outthinking its programmers, and that could be pretty ominous. Competition in artificial intelligence is like a new space race, yes, and there's a race going on between China and the US to see who is going to be the leader. Curbs on AI exports, Silicon Valley fears losing its edge. The Commerce Department is considering national security restrictions on artificial intelligence. Some worry they could stunt the industry in the U.S. Artificial intelligence offers $340 billion opportunity to the retail sector. And of course, that's through streamlining processes and basically, cutting costs and doing things more efficiently. And what we have to expect and what's going to happen in 2019 with AI, well, we're going to get more used to it. We're going to start seeing it integrate with us more fully. We're going to see it basically, well, it says here, adding more jobs and taking away. But we're going to start to basically depend upon it more and get used to it. And eventually, it's going to control every facet of our lives. How many of you have had your smartphone know what you're going to say next? Have you ever said something to your spouse like, hey, where do you want to go for dinner tonight? Well, let's go for Italian. Okay, great. I'll go check. And you pick up your phone and you hit Google search, and the first option that comes up is Italian restaurants near me. And you didn't type anything in yet. Has that ever happened to you? Because it's happening more and more often because our instruments, our computers, it's all listening to us. Whether it's Alexa, whether it's your smartphone, your smart TV, they're all listening to us, and they're learning to know what we're going to do before we do it. And that's pretty creepy in so many ways. Do you not think? And so I made a reference to Yalda Boath, and many of you are familiar with Gnosticism and Gnostic philosophy, and there are those that believe that ultimately what's known as the demiurge is artificial intelligence itself. And that is what's running this reality that we find ourselves in. And there are those that believe that we ourselves are fallen angels. We are divine beings that are just stuck in this matrix. And we're kept on this karmic wheel, through the laws of cause and effect. And also basically out of ignorance for not understanding exactly what we are, which is something that's actually above and beyond this reality. And we're just basically kept in the dark to our own true reality. which is a oneness with Source. That is above and beyond this reality. And so if we ever realized that and woke up, we would have more power over this reality and be able to reunite with the higher dimensions and the higher realms and with God or Source or the Great Spirit, however you want to view it, itself. So it's all pretty interesting to look at, my friends. And as always, I look forward to your comments. And as always, thumbs up to support the channel. Please do subscribe, click the bell, join our growing family, and share with as many people as possible so we can wake them up to everything that's happening in our world. We need to embrace our diversity, but through the diversity, find a unity. And understand, you know what, guys, we're not going to convert the world. Whether that's convert to being a Democrat or a Republican or a Libertarian or an anarchist, or whether it's becoming a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, whatever it is, we're not converting the whole world. Let's accept that we all have different beliefs. Let's accept that we're each a unique expression of the divine, and instead let's work together, giving respect to that diversity, and find our unity in it. God bless, my friends. Namaste.